Hey guys, welcome back to Trad Rod and Custom. I'm Oliver, and today I got to solve a little problem. I need a shifter for that Hydromatic in the custom Roadster we've been building, and I'm trying to figure out a way that I don't have to spend any money on one. I got these Model A brake pivots, and I'm thinking that there's some kind of way we can put these two together and make a shifter out of it. Let's see. First thing I think we ought to do is disassemble these things. Try to not break anything and look at the pieces we got. So I'm going to remove this pin. It looks like it's pinned through and peened over to hold this little end on. And that way I can get that little pivoting arm off and then pull the shaft out. It looks like it'll slide right out after that. I had to do a little drilling, then use the punch, and that old pin, it fell right out. Once I got the pin out, I went ahead and used this little piece of steel and gave a few taps on the end of that arm, and it fell right off. I'll tell you what, for 100-year-old parts, these things still move. They still have grease in them. The brass bushings still have material. They're not worn out or wallered out. It's really something. I mean, think about that. I wire wheeled these before I let you guys see them. They were crusty looking, and they're still pretty good functioning parts. 100-year-old mechanical brake parts. Now I cut off those lobes off the end of these tubes. I'm doing both tubes the same way. You can see there's a brass bushing in the end there, and basically what I'm trying to do is just get these to where I can weld them together. That's what I'm thinking. Extend them so I can adjust and clock those arms where I need them to be, and somehow make that work into a lever system to make that shifter shift. So now that I have a shaft and a tube for it to ride in, I gotta figure out where I want it to set on the transmission, where it needs to be in order to be over the shifting arm and have everything line up. Kind of give me an idea how it's all gonna lay out. And of course I made it too long, so I'm gonna have to narrow it on up and get that lever to be kind of in the center where I want the shifter to be. So the other arm is hanging out over that shifter lever on the side of the transmission. You'll see. Just keep watching. Now that I got a collar on there that I can put a bolt or a pin through, I need a shift arm. So I went and got the old gate securing bar from our front gate on our property, and I brought it in. It's about the right diameter. I cut it down to the length I liked and just got to weld it on there. And just like that, it's a shifter with a little actuating arm on the other side. You can pin it. You can pull the shifter arm off. Now we just need to make a way of mounting it to the transmission. And there you have it. That's our top plate. I made little ears on it so it can bolt on in 3 places. I just gotta get them in the right spot and bend them down. I don't know why a Hydromatic has that bolt right in the middle of the top of it. It doesn't really seem to do anything, but I'm using it to mount my transmission shifter to. That and a couple of tail shaft bolts. I think 3 should be enough with that thick plate we're using. Just got to pull these 2 bolts out and get the holes drilled and get them countersunk, and then we'll start figuring out how our shifter will fit on it. Now, you folks probably didn't notice, but I ran a die over this gate locking bar and used the right size so I could put an early forward shift knob on it. Just kind of adds to the character of the thing a little bit. Makes it look a little more authentic, a little less like a gate locking bar. So now I'm getting it all kind of fit on there. I'm taking a look at it and I'm trying to line up how it all comes together. You know, there's a whole lot of different measurements when you're setting up a shifter. It's the measurement between the shifter and the dash, the measurement between the shifter and the seat, the range of throw, how that throw translates through your arm down to your adjusting link. So you're going to have a link that's adjustable so you can dial your shifter in. And then that goes all the way down to the shifting arm on the side of the transmission. So there's a few factors to consider when you're doing this, and it does take just a little bit of finagling and working things around, rolling through those gears and trying to figure out how it all works. And I'll tell you something. If your shift actuating arm, so the arm on the other side, when you move the shift lever, the other arm that in turn rotates, if you're not finding that you're getting all the gears, that arm needs to get longer. The longer that arm is, the more throw it has. And that allows it to go further as you move the shifter. And that's something I was noticing I was having a problem with. So when I first got it set up, that shifter, it went from the dash all the way to the floorboards just to get all three gears, all three detents. Now, I wanted to put a nice little bend in that shifter so it had a more early Ford look, you know, an early hot rod look, something look a little more authentic, because that's what I'm after. I don't want anybody to know that I made this out of what I made it out of and how I did it. Shh, don't tell anybody. So I needed to make that arm longer. And the way I did that is I ended up taking a box wrench, a cheap one. You know, they're still high carbon steel. And I cut the center of it out. And then I just cut that little actuating arm and I put that box wrench in as a extension. Welded it in, and then I got more throw out of my shifter. And that's what you see here now. You see that arm, how much longer it is? Well, it's shiny in the center. Tell me in the comments, how did you guys go about making a shifter this way? Or would you just go buy one off the shelf, like a cable-driven unit or something? See, to me, if it wasn't made back in the day, it's kind of standing out to me, you know? It kind of ruins the time capsule aspect here. Now, I'm not saying that they had this gate lock and bar back in the day, but what I'm emulating, making something out of nothing, it's got the right feel to it. If I had some kind of a low-car shifter, well, I think it'd kind of ruin the vibe a little bit. Not to knock anybody else who does that. Time to put a bend in the shifter. Let's give it a try. Now, what I'm starting to notice is that it doesn't really stay in each detent for each shifting location all that well. It stays there, but it feels like anytime I hit a bump, that dang shifter's going to fall right into the next slot down. Or if I hit it with my hand as I'm turning the wheel, or if I bump it with my elbow, or if my hot wife nudges it with her knee, we'll just pop right out and be in another gear, be in reverse, or who knows what. That can't really stay that way. It's just a little too loose. It would work the way it is, but I don't know. I like to build things just a little bit better than that. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little detent guide plate, I guess you call it, that it'll rub against, that have little cutouts in it, and that should help. But golly, doesn't that look good in there? It's really coming together. So basically what I'm thinking I'm going to do is this is just going to be a metal on metal situation. I'm going to weld it in, and then I'm going to kind of squeeze it on and over so it has pressure against the shifter. It'll have a detent, a little cutout for the shifter to rub into in each location corresponding to where each detent on the shifter is. So it just kind of helps keep it where it's supposed to be. Now, sure, I know what you're thinking. It's going to rub and wear over time. It is steel on steel. I thought about using brass or something of a softer nature, but I think that'll just wear out faster. Reality is this is not a moving part. It's not like an axle or a bearing. It's a shifter. It's only moving when I'm shifting in and out of gear. So I think for the time being, for the foreseeable future, it's going to work just fine and hold up all right. But I will keep an eye on it. I'll tell you another thing. If my detent plate rubs right through my shifter and breaks it off, I can always hit the brake pedal. It's not like I'm going to crash. Hey, now we got something. A little spritz of black paint. Got our detent plate on there. She stays in gear. Doesn't hit the seat. I even put a little bend in to keep it up off the steering wheel so it doesn't hit my knuckles when I'm spinning the wheel around fast. It's starting to look pretty good. I'm real proud of that. Our own custom shifter made from a bunch of crap we had laying around the shop. Now I got to work on our parking brake and we can get the floors patched up. Get them all finished. Then we got to make an accelerator pedal and folks, that's getting right down to the home stretch. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe learned something. Let me know in the comments. Was it worthwhile? Or should I just put a low car on? Catch you on the next one.